Hey dudes and chicks, and neither of those rules don't apply to you. Welcome to my first time. My name is Katie. Today, I am going to be doing a moon magic video for the full moon in Gemini, whilst simultaneously using my first PR from NBA Cosmetics, and it just worked out perfect. Somebody asked me if I was going to do, when I was going to start doing moon videos, and I was getting the Celestial Moon palette, which came in the mail on Saturday, I think, when I was out of town for the holiday. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll just use the Celestial Moon palette. I also got a glitter, a pressed glitter. It's really fucking good. And I got a chroma flake. So I got them all to like work together to make like the most sparkly, amazing goodness. So if you guys are curious to see how I got this look, or hearing my final thoughts on these products, or if you want to hear about the full moon in Gemini and that, you know, that moony shit, that mooniness that I'm all about, or if you just like to watch, then hang out. Okay, so I'm already primed in my P. Louise primer in Rumor 02, and I'm gonna start with my Zoeva 232, the bigger flat shadow brush, and I'm gonna go under the color Phenomena, and I'm gonna do a halo eye because it just seems like that's what I should do. So I'm starting with this darkest color, and this is my first PR from NBA Cosmetics, so I'm pretty excited about it. It's not the first product that I've ever used by NBA, and the product that I have used before, and obviously that's like super pigmented, but also I'm using a flat shade or shadow brush, so when you're packing color on it, it's like much easier to get a really good payoff. But I just like this brush because the shape I can create for a halo eye. I just recently figured out how good this is for this, and honestly it kind of made me just want to get rid of my alter ego one because it's just not as good as this one. And that is really, really deep. That's super deep. And this video is going to be pretty deep. So here goes. Okay, so this is my full moon in Gemini. And I'm probably going to say some like pretty vulnerable things. In fact, I think I'm going to put a trigger warning in the title because it's actually going to be a pretty heavy. I read some things about the Gemini moon, like what the running theme is going to be. But what I've learned about myself is once I kind of opened up to like full mooniness, now that I'm all full moony and shit, I don't really ever need to read what astrologers say about the full moon because I am usually really intuitively with what the running theme is. So I read a little bit, and to tell you the truth, it just really didn't I'm probably going to hit on these topics, but so the full moon in Gemini is about like thought and communication, maybe duality. I think I read that somewhere. And what I'm going to talk about is I'm kind of like at a crossroads right now. And I believe that that is like in part, I believe that the full moon has kind of triggered this feeling in me that I'm at a crossroads. So I'm going into Lunaire. I have quite a few things, like products that I got from NBA that I want to use, so I'm going to do like kind of a bunch of different things. So I'm just going to go like this. Oh, and this is the Rougher 14. And I'm just keeping it really close inside there. So those of you who know me like better, like my people on my Patreon, you guys know that kind of like I've been like really actually struggling lately, like emotionally and mentally. And I feel like, you know, when we talk about some things that are going on in my life right now, have happened recently and are going on, that my life is really triggering me. So now I used to feel like the word trigger used to I just thought it was so fucking stupid. Like, oh, I'm so triggered right now. But really, I feel like what triggered means is when you're faced with a situation that like brings out your trauma responses, like negative reactions, anger, fear, like those kinds of things. And so when we're faced with situations that remind us of old situations in our life that have happened to us before, which it could be the weirdest thing. Like it could be, you know, the bus driver kept going when you were standing at the bus stop and it reminded you of the time that your mom drove away and left you in treatment. you know what I mean? It could be like these random things where our mind always wants to take the easier route. And so our mind like lumps experiences together as like the same. And it convinces us that things are the same as this other time that this thing happened. It's just the way our brains work. I have had some things going on in my life lately that are like triggering every fucking thing. What I know now is that trigger responses are real, for one. That's not what I was going to say. But they're actually like opportunities. When we get triggered by something, it actually like sheds light on something that we get to like work on if we choose to. And so when we get triggered, we can either go into our turtle shell, like what we have done over and over. That's usually like fight, flight, or freeze. All three of those are like a, you know, a form of like fight or flight. They're all forms of hiding, right? To protect ourselves. They're all like protection mechanisms. And so we can either like go into our shell, or we can do none of those things and we can like face it and move through it and process it. Like to some of you guys, this is old news. And to some of you guys, this is like, you're like, what? Weird. I was wondering why that person eating my fucking out of my fridge that day fucked me up so bad. Anyway, I have been having a lot of things going on in my life that have been really triggering. And about 2 weeks ago, I've been doing a lot of work in my recovery with my new sponsor and a lot of work with my therapist that I've been doing for quite some time. And it's really all come to this, it's all come to like come to a head, right? I'm going to go into illusion and kind of just go all the way across the halo with this. And I'm just going to keep it really inside there to keep it controlled. I don't want it to get like out of control unless I want it to. I'm just going to keep it like... So I've been doing all this work with my therapist about like trauma from my childhood and like abandonment and like all this shit. And I've been doing all this work in my recovery with my sponsor about the things that are going on currently and how it's like sending me into this, like I've been dealing with it however I've been dealing with it. And sometimes I'm dealing with it really well. And then other times I'm like shrinking. I'm getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But I keep taking the action that I need to take. So like I keep doing what is required of me. I keep just putting one foot in front of the other and I'm moving. I just keep moving forward. Like I keep doing what I need to do and like just doing the next right action, the next right action, the next right action. And quite frankly, in ways, what I'm doing is better. It's the best I've ever done. But how I'm feeling has been getting not the best I've ever felt. And so probably about 2 weeks ago, I finally just told my sponsor and I told my therapist, like, I'm really unhappy. I'm so unhappy because there comes a point where, okay, so like we have to keep our thoughts positive. Like we have to. We all have a habit of negative thinking. It's habitual. Negative thinking is habitual. And we all have habits. We all have habitual negative thinking. Like we just automatically think the negative thought. It's the way our brains are wired. We're wired to survive. And so we always go immediately to the negative thought, period. And so that's like the way our brains are hardwired to work. It's habitual. And so in order to break that habit, we have to like redirect our thoughts and keep them, like redirect them to more positive. See what we have instead of what we don't have. See what we can do instead of focusing on what we can't do. Those kinds of things. We have to do that in order to like change the way that our habitual thinking holds us down. However, there's a point where if you're just always being positive and you actually feel like shit, then you're really just being in denial and you're trying to stuff down these parts of yourself that they need attention. They need to be attended to. And so I finally I've been like in positive thinking and I've been like, no, this is the way it's like, I'm just going to redirect my thinking and like everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. You know, I've kind of learned that by now. But about 2 weeks ago, I just told my therapist and I told my sponsor, like, I'm just really unhappy. I'm so unhappy. And like there just comes a point where like if you continue to try to redirect your fucking thoughts, then you're really just like trying to stuff them down and you're not processing emotions if you're throwing positivity at it, right? And so there just came this point where I had to do that. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I just feel like I'm at a crossroads and that I feel like is really Gemini. I've been like it's really represented in the Gemini moon, like with like kind of this idea of duality. And like I have been in a place where I've been kind of living in both, where I'm like I know everything's going to be fine, but I still have to like validate the fact that like I haven't felt very good for a while. And so, okay, I'm going to stop right here. I don't really like what's going on, but I think this is happening a lot lately, and it's because I'm like talking too much. No, it's because my disposition has been a little raunchy lately. My mind has been a bad neighborhood for the last couple weeks. But so I went to my hometown to spend time with my family for the holiday. And it was like exactly what I needed. Like I just needed people who like know me from like way back, like my old life, which there's no such thing as your old life. It's just life, and I'm still Katie. I just am like living a little bit differently now. And so it was really cool. My family was it was like really cool to be with my family, which was awesome because my family goes through hard times too, you know? And so it was really cool to have things feel like a little bit back to normal. And also like, you know, when the last fight that my ex-boyfriend and I got into, we were in my hometown and my family was struggling, and he said to me right before I left, the last thing he said to me was, he was like, you like it. And what he was talking about was that like, I'm always unhappy, that I like being unhappy, that I like having problems. And so when somebody that I respect says something like that to me, I take a fucking look at it. I don't just go, yeah, whatever, I don't like it. Oh yeah, right, like I really like being unhappy. No, I'm a little bit addicted to being unhappy. And so like, I cannot deny that what he said had some validity. And so this whole time, I've been really trying to like just go through and evaluate what parts of this are mine. What's mine? What was my fault? What do I need to be accountable for? What do I need to change? What do I need to take a look at? What has been shed light on? You know what I mean? I've had to like do that. And so that's one of the things he said that really has been like driving me crazy. Like because I struggle with like thinking I'm a loser. That's like one of my biggest things, is that I think I'm a loser. And I know I'm not a loser. Nobody needs to save me from that. I just struggle with this like core belief about myself that I'm a loser. And so when he said that to me, I didn't realize how much I had taken it to heart until just like an hour ago. I was having a conversation with one of my family members and like realized that like, no, at the time my family was really going through some really fucking hard shit. And what was wrong with me was actually really valid. And so I kind of needed somebody to be able to be supportive instead of like save face. So anyway, I have been like taking that on myself, like really feeling like it's the reason why he left me is because I like it, right? And so I just had this conversation, and I went to go see my family, and I went to a hockey game with my besties and like had this conversation with them about just whatever the fuck we were talking about. My problems, my beliefs, where I've been lately, you know, where they've been lately, and like realizing like just like this opportunity to be reminded of who the fuck I am. And for those of you who haven't like seen my breakup guide, I talk in that Breaking Up Like a Badass about remember who the fuck you are. And so like sometimes it just takes a little bump to remember who the fuck I am, because the last like month probably, since my birthday, I have like gotten progressively, I have definitely like descended into fear and self-loathing and really, I mean, terror. Honestly, it's been like paralyzing fear. However, I haven't been paralyzed. I've just been continuing to show up, continuing to do what I need to do, and like acting even when I don't feel like it, which I love that I'm able to do that today. You know what I mean? Because I didn't used to be able to do that. But my thoughts have been kind of running away from me, and like I've just been having a lot of negative thoughts, you know what I mean? And this is no additional product, but this is all blending swimmingly. And that looks really fucking pretty. So I went to Helena, I got my fucking head right, and I feel ready. Like I feel ready. So I feel like I'm at a crossroads right now, because I feel like all the things I've been really scared to do and all the moves that I've been scared to make and all, like some of the things that I need to do are like really super vulnerable. And I actually sent my ex a really vulnerable text because I went and spoke at an NA event, not this last weekend, but the weekend before. And somebody said something to me that made me think, like, if me or my ex left this planet tomorrow, I would not want that to happen without having said these certain things to him. And I sent him this text, and I can't, but it was like really vulnerable, and I didn't expect him to text me back. But I think deep down, like, I've had this like belief that like he actually really felt the same way about me, and that he would like just say same. Like, not because like I don't think we're getting back together. Like, that's not even what I want anymore. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. But like, I just thought that he would like respond with one word or something, and he didn't. And that feels like the information that I needed to like move on. That like, it wasn't what I thought it was. And to be able to just like move forward, like not really considering that situation as like affecting or like, because I've been thinking a lot about like the fear that I've had is like had to do with like what he would think if he saw me. His presence in my world was like affecting my ability to like make moves. And like, now I just realize his presence isn't in my world anymore. And it was just this like thing. So that happened like a few days ago, like probably on Monday or whatever, or Saturday, or I don't fucking know. But then I went back to Helena and like got a good dose of like people being like, no, Katie, that's not even true. That's not real. Like, you are fine. We all are like that. Everybody feels like that. Or like whatever the fuck was said, like that. Or like, no, Katie, there was really some shit going on. That wasn't just you fucking being addicted to fucking trauma. That was really real. And so it was just this really cool opportunity, and I really felt ready to come home and like face my fears. And so in that way, I don't fucking know like how, like what that applies to, but I feel like for me in my life at the full moon, no matter what the fear is about, the full moon is always about me releasing more fear, me getting more free, me letting go of old beliefs that are holding me back, and like releasing those even more in ways that are actually really usually painful. Like, honestly, taking on new habits for me is never as painful as letting go of the old beliefs, the old patterns, the old way of thinking that is keeping me from, right? Like, taking on new things is great for me. And it actually, I did read this, that the full moon in Gemini is going to really affect mutable signs. And so what a mutable sign is, I mean, you're going to have to look and see if your sign is mutable, but I have, my sun and my moon are both mutable signs. And so I've talked on here a lot about my, indecision being a big character defect of mine. But honestly, I might just be so mutable because like I am really capable of shifting gears, adapting, changing my mind, taking in new information, and like moving accordingly, and like not getting so set in my ways. I do not get set in my ways. Like, I just don't. I feel like for me, this full moon is really about me being at a turning point of like letting go of Dave. Honestly, like letting go of my ex, and like letting go of these fears that have been kind of like keeping me prisoner, and like making my world get smaller and smaller, because I've been like sitting in my apartment getting really small. And like 2 weeks ago, I had to just admit it and like own it and like be like accountable for it, you know, stop being and not be in denial about it. Like, there's like this fine line, like I said, where we're not trapped by the habit of negative thinking, and we're not being so fucking like waking up smelling shit every day and thinking everything is great. You know what I mean? You can't just throw gratitude at everything all the time. Like, sometimes you have to actually like face some shit. So I feel like for me, this full moon is about me releasing this fear that I've had of being seen again, but more by my ex, or like what would he think? Which I hate to even admit that I'm that type of person, but you want to know what? We can't fucking change anything if we can't even admit it. I am not that type of person. I am not the type of person who gives two fucks what people think about me, but like sometimes we go through things that like trigger our insecurities in ways that we don't get to fucking decide. I don't get to choose. I don't get to choose whether or not I feel insecure about something. What I do get to choose is how I react to that and whether or not I can own it. And that is what being brave is about. Being brave is about like being able to face things. It's not about never being insecure. It's about being able to fucking like own it and do what needs to be done once you've like stated the problem. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my Spectrum A13, and that was actually my Rephr 3, which I love this brush. It's so good. And I'm just kind of doing the deal with the colors on the bottom. Another thing that I actually was going to talk about was, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but I think it kind of applies, is this week when I was in my hometown for the holiday, I was like scouring the internet for people, YouTubers to watch, to like learn new shit, of like new makeup techniques and like new tips and tricks, like YouTubers that I can watch, that I can like get better at doing my makeup by like learning shit from them. And I didn't find any. I'm not saying I'm not fucking good. I'm not saying I'm all that. I'm just saying like it was really hard. So if you guys know, and I specifically am talking about YouTubers who are really good at colorful makeup. Like there's a lot of YouTubers with really great personalities. I want somebody who's like, I can learn technically more advanced makeup skills. So if you guys are watching YouTubers and they're like really good and you think that I could learn something, like please comment and let me know, because like I was actually a little bit irritated with the fact that I couldn't fucking find any. This looks pretty good. Also, I want to say that purple, like, okay, so Gemini is an air sign, so like purple is like a really great airy color. And also like, I think that air signs are about, well, they're about intellect and communication, period. Like air signs live in the thought realm. Air is the element of like thought and communication. And like, I have many planets in air, like 6 or 7 in an air sign. Most of them in Libra, which is the sign, if there was a sign of beauty, it's Libra. So it's crazy, right? Like I was meant for this shit. But, so purple is a really great sign. And also I was going to tell you guys that I'm going to do my full moon ritual. So a lot of times I'll do journal prompts by certain, influencers like Instagram astrologers. And the two that I love are Taylor Eaton and Natalia Benson. So if you guys are interested in finding like some journal prompts, the ones I'm going to do for this full moon is by Taylor Eaton. Which I don't do hers as much, but I really like hers because she's a projector, a human design projector, and so am I. And so I love her because she's a projector, and projectors are kind of weird. Natalia Benson is a manifesting generator, which I know I'm just fucking spouting mumbo jumbo to you. She's not the same energy type as me, and so whenever people that are like generators or manifesting generators give advice to projectors, they're not the same energy type, and then projectors just end up feeling like shit about themselves because they aren't like doing as much or like doing things the same way as like generators are. So generators work in a very different way than projectors. And so I try not to take too much advice from generators because then I just get down on myself when I don't produce the same kind of results. I produce results in thought. So like the way that I'm supposed to work is to like help other people produce results in their lives, not I just help people like with their thoughts. And I think you guys can kind of see that in the way that my videos are, the way they're like so relatable, and like a lot of you guys comment about how like helpful they are. It's because I was put on this planet to help people in the thought realm. Okay, now I'm going in with my NYX glitter primer and probably my Rephr 21. And then I'm going to use my Zoeva 234, and I'm going to go into the color Dreamscape. And I'm going to use that. NBA Cosmetics, from what I recall from the Winter Wonderland palette, has amazing fucking shimmers. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's perfect. Damn. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's super fucking shifty. This is a really great color. It's like shifting from a warm tone to a cool tone purple. Like, it's really pretty. I'm gonna use this Zoeva I think it's a 238. Yeah, it's a teensy tiny, and I'm gonna go into Eclipse, and I'm gonna use that on the outer right here. Oh yeah, but I'm going in with another product, so this just feels a little unnecessary, but fuck it. And also I finished all the designs and graphics for my merch, which is like down below, and honestly it's so fucking cute. I created merch that I would actually like, you know, everybody creates merch that's basically like kind of meaningful to their brand. Well, my merch is meaningful to my brand, but it's also something that I would like wear. So they're like badass. One of them says Beauty Baddie, and it's got like a skull with a bow, and I actually designed all that shit myself, so I'm pretty fucking jacked about it. It fucking looks really cool. It's so cool what you can do nowadays. You can just do any fucking thing you want. You can literally do anything. There is nothing that isn't accessible to you. You know, it's fucking badass. This looks fabulous, and honestly I would make that blend a little better, but I got these fucking flakies. I got Euphoria. I'm excited about this. Oh my god, look at that. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. Look. Oh my god. Okay, get the fuck out. I'm going to use the back side of this, and I'm going to kind of wipe it off on my pants so it doesn't get dark. And then I'm going to put a little tiny bit of, no, I'm going to put a little tiny bit of primer, because these are actually, they fly around a lot more. They're like floaters. Okay, and then I'm going to use the back side of that brush and dip in here. Ooh. Oh my gosh. So this isn't like a creamy flaky formula, but it also isn't glitter. I don't know how to explain it, but they are floating around. Like, it's really light, and it's actually, I've never actually seen anything like this. Oh my gosh, that is super pretty. Fuck, man, this is a good time. I'm glad I did that. That was a good decision. Damn. I don't know if you guys can see those shifts, but they're fucking, ooh, dude. I'm gonna put the color Moonbeam Dreamscape on the lower lid right here. And then what? Am I gonna put glitters on there? Oh yeah, I'm going to. I'm gonna use this MOTD Sultry Smudger, Smoker Sultry Smudger. And I'm gonna put a little bit of NYX Glitter Primer on here and just go like this. And then with this teensy tiny, I'm gonna go like this. Yeah, that looks really pretty. Pretty. And then I'm gonna put Moonbeam in the inner corner. This color right here. Damn, those flakies are fucking really cool. I'm fucking jacked about that. Okay, I'm kind of having to dig into this color a little bit, but maybe it's because it's really over the top of that, like black. I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna spray it. Yeah. That's so pretty. Honestly, you can't see these shifts. So when you're looking straight on, and I don't know if this is because it's underneath, what's underneath, but like when you look to the side, it is like totally pink and gold, or pink and like orangey peach. And then when you look at it straight on, it's like a blue purple. And I'm just gonna use this glitter. I got this glitter too. I don't know, I don't remember what it's called. I don't know, it's like chroma something. It's like, I got all the fucking glitter. I'm gonna use this Nabla pencil brush. It's kind of a biggie. I don't know how this is gonna work. Ooh, man, this stuff is really pretty. Yeah, that looks really cool. Okay, I'm gonna go finish the rest of my face and I'll be back when I'm done. So, this is the manifesto, the pièce de résistance. I used my Rouge and Rogue eye wigs in Slayer and my Arthurine Menagerie Cosmetics Arthurine blush palette in Sugarberry. It's a little bit of a cool tone pink and it just seemed to really work for this. Then I used my Unearthly Low Light Inspector and my Pretty Zombie Cosmetics Lippie in Strange. Now, they're going out of business, but they might be having some Black Friday craziness going on that like they're still trying to sell their stock. And honestly, I love this formula. So I wish they weren't going out of business, but you know, wish in one hand, shit in the other. Then I used my NYX Slide On Glide On All Day Hard On in Pretty Violet and Platinum, which they don't make anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But I put the Platinum on the middle, and okay, I love this. This is the most amazing full moon look, and I'm really stoked about it. I'm stoked about what I talked about and how it kind of applies, and like maybe you can like think about like what's the duality in your life? How can you you know, there's a lot of other things going on, but just like keeping it simple, like how can you like rely more on your intuition and like what's going on internally for you? And if you have duality, are you at a crossroads? Like is there something that you've really been needing to let go of in order to grab this other thing? Like, I'm not sure what that means for you, but that's just what I felt strongly on my heart to talk to you guys about. So I'm gonna say I love this palette. I love the shimmers. They perform just like NBA. Like honestly, if I didn't know they were already good, I wouldn't have asked to get on their PR list. So I love these shimmers. They're super fucking cute. Super shifty. I want to talk about this glitter, this Fancy Free. It's so pretty, and it's like this. It's like purple, but it's like rainbow shifter. So those of you who aren't into glitter, but I know some of you really are, and I am a person who loves glitter. Look at how that just foiled right on there like that. It's really good, really finely milled. And then I want to talk about these flakes because they are not what I thought they were going to be at all. They are dry, but they're like flakies, like they dissolve. So it's almost like edible underwear where if you open the lid and you breathe into them, they'll float around. Like, did you see that? They like float. But like when I opened it, I wasn't expecting it, and like it went in my hair and stuff. So I have like glitter flakies in my hair. So what I don't like about it is that it will float around and it'll go everywhere. But honestly, I just went like this to them, like where they were on my nose, and they just came right off. They like ground down like a shimmer and then just kind of scraped off. So it's a really strange formula. What I love about this is that you don't have to worry about it drying up. So that's fucking sweet that it's not a cream formula that you have to worry about drying up. So it took me by surprise. I didn't understand what it was like. And now that I do, I don't have to worry about it getting in my hair because I know what's gonna happen. So if you dip your brush in it too hard, they'll be like, and kind of dust around. But if you already know, then they're literally good. So anyways, I mean, they're obviously, this look is fucking beautiful. It's too much. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell because you can't wait to see what happens next. Hit the like button if you like this look, or if you just like my sparkling personality, my boyish charm, and hang on with me in the comments because I fucking love it. If you got like halfway through this video and you're like, oh my god, she's so pretty till she opens her big fucking mouth, then go check me out on Instagram. I don't talk as much on Instagram. And if you're like, don't sugarcoat it, Katie, why don't you tell us how you really feel, then go check out my Patreon because I don't hold anything back on my Patreon. Thank you guys so much for watching. You could have been anywhere, but you were here wasting your time with me, and I totally appreciate you. Later. Slayer.